everyone. My name is Dr. Young Kim. I'm the principal investigator of Project Dual at the University of Texas at Austin. Project Dual is developmental understanding across languages, where we study bilingual children and adults. And today we are happy to feature Siqi Chen, who is our Research Assistant Spotlight Series RA. So Siqi has been working on my project for about a semester, and she has done such an amazing job doing many different roles. Siqi is part of my daily calls team, where she quickly learned how to do many of our calculation shifts. And then when we had more needs, such as our scheduling team, Siki just jumped right in and was able to help us out. And when we started expanding our daily calls team to include some exams, Siki jumped in again and volunteered to help us with that aspect as well. Siki has just been such an incredible addition, always taking on more shifts than she needs to, but always pitching in and showing her leadership skills, and being very accurate with the work she is doing. And I've just been so impressed with Siki's initiative, the quality of her work. And I just wanted to spotlight Siki because of just the really amazing work she's been doing on the project. So Siki, I'm curious to hear from you. How did you feel when I told you I wanted to spotlight you for the Spotlight series?
Thank you so much, Dr. Hing. I think when I was hearing that, I was just feel so pleasant, and I was so pleasured and honored to be here because I was never be featured as a RA. So I was like so excited, and also want to thank you again for giving this valuable opportunities.
Okay, sounds good. So we one of the goals of the Spotlight series is, of course, of featuring you because of the outstanding work you're doing, but also to learn more about you and your background, what students are doing at UT Austin, but and also on my project. So I have a few questions I wanted to ask you today. The first question I wanted to ask you is there anything about your background that has shaped you to be who you are today?
Well, yeah, definitely. And also, that's one of the reasons that I choose to join Project Duo. I think being a bilingual myself, so I speak Chinese, it's my native language, and I also started to use English, trying to use it as a first language when I get to United States for study. So I think bilingual definitely shaped a lot of who I am today. And I grew up navigating more than one language and culture, and I can personally relate it to the themes of Project Dual, the studies, especially how the bilingual usage will impact the personal developments, how it will connect with the family members, and all these topics I'm really interested. And also I was inspired by other artists, their spotlights, because I know that many people are also being inspired and they also have the bilingual background. So that's why I'm choosing to join this big community, not only to learn how to do research, but also to trying to meet more peers that also have bilingual backgrounds.
I see. So then you grew up being bilingual when you were growing up?
Well, yeah, because we are required to learn English starting at 8.
Age
Well,
8?
yes, it's not that early, but I do learn some English when I was in the kindergarten.
Is there any fun fact about you that you may want to share?
Oh yeah, sure. So one fun fact about me is like I have changed my major 6 times when I get to UT. So I started in College of Education, and then I transferred to COLA, the College of Liberal Arts, and then I transferred to McCombs because I feel like I'm more interested in doing accounting, and I feel like I'm good at doing it. And then so I also want to share this great news with you because I think it's just this Monday I got into the Integrated Master of Professional Accounting. It's one of the master program, honor program of from McCombs. So
Oh, congratulations. That's
thank you so
it's
much.
probably very competitive to get in.
Yeah, it's kind of competitive.
So then, um, would you say your plans after graduation is going to be going into the accounting field or something else, or what are you thinking?
Well, I think yes. I plan to pursue a career related to accounting,
Mhm,
either audit or tax. I haven't too sure yet right now, and I hopefully I can get into the big four.
mhm,
And also, I'm interested in earning my CPA in the future.
mm,
Um, More broadly, I hope to work in a field where I can combine the language skill and the analytical skills so that I can help more people because I did a text prepare in the
mhm,
Austin communities,
mhm,
and some of them even can speak the English.
mhm.
So I think accounting is also a language, and also if you have the skills to communicate with those people, will better to help them either understand accounting, tax, or other knowledge.
So then tell me what you do as a research assistant on the project.
Yeah, sure. So as a research assistant, I have worked on the tests related to the data verification and checking the survey and my mix inconsistencies, and also the compensation calculations. God, that's my favorite.
Why do you
And
like that
I
the
also,
most? I'm curious.
I don't know. I just like to deal with money. I don't know. Yes, and besides that, because I really need hours, I also joined the daily cost scheduling team. Because if I work the three shifts, that will be the 4.5 hours a week. So I think it's really a good deal. Besides of that, I also work as a presenter in the presenter team. I know my English skills is not as fluent as the native speaker still, but I do want to find chances to speak, to practice my speaking skills.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's all my job.
Okay.
Incredible.
So if there's a word or a sentence to describe your experience on the project, what would you say that word or sentence may be?
Yeah, I will describe the experience as eye-opening because
Mm.
joining the project, well, that's my first research project, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
I did not fully understand how much coordination are required behind the research. You need to sign the recap email to the later RAs, and so that they will know what you did for that shifts. And they also need a recap information for their further calculation. I also learned that this experience really helped me to see the practical side of research much more clearly, like how to use the RedCap. I don't even know the RedCap before I joined this project.
Oh.
How to use the Airtable. I want to grab every chance to learn every skills and platforms. It's really helpful, and so that's why I'm saying it's eye opening. A lot of things like people are saying, "Oh, you should know this," but I don't know. But I learned it here, so I know that right now. And also, I also learned how to make sure the workflow will run smoothly because I was in the scheduling team. I need to coordinate with other RAs to say, hey, we have urgent shifts. Would you be willing to take these shifts? And I also work as a exam scheduling manager. It's not just about the data.
Yeah.
Even I'm interested in working with data. It's not just about data. It's not just about the final results we got.
Mhm,
There's a lot of people work at the backstage and to help the big team to work smoothly to make sure that everyone have the work to do,
mhm.
as well as everyone will fulfill the goal of the general project.
Gotcha. Um, so then how do you feel supported in the project?
So, firstly, I want to thank you for so supporting. I still remember at the beginning, I said I really need hours, and um, I think it's one of the agenda meeting, and you asked did she need any more people to help with the scheduling team, and I let you know, and you also let her know, so that's I was getting the chance to gain more hours to fulfill my hours,
Mhm.
and now I don't really need that much hours, but. I know that you are trying to provide as much as different opportunities for us to do. I also remember there's a time that you said the geocoding. I was like, I never heard about it, but I used R at that time. I believe you also provide opportunities to learn some other softwares for the RAs.
Mhm.
Besides of that, I think I was really supported by the clear protocols. I was so surprised to see that in the protocols there's a training videos that was recorded.
Mm,
We have one-on-one trainings, we have the solo shift, we have the two shadow shifts, as well as the supervisor shifts. So it's really a very good process,
mm,
so that people can really learn from watching others doing, to I can do it myself independently, and
mm.
I can train others, and you will make people feel like a sense of achievements. And okay, coming back to the protocols, if you ever have something you don't know or you can't remember, you can always go back to see the pre-recorded videos. They will also be detail explained. And if there are any rules you can remember, everything was really clear that. So I think even when I was just started, I feel kind of overwhelmed because so many documents here. But all the documents are really clear. If you read, if you want to learn, that will be really good resources to support your journey at
Yeah.
Project Dual.
I mean, as you can see, a lot of time and energy went into creating those things, and a lot of thought went into the solo shift, the shadow shift, and the exams. So as you can see,
Yes,
it's been
yes,
thoroughly tested and has been thought out very carefully.
yes, yes.
And
And I think it's
yeah.
always developing, like, because when I first joined, there's no exam, but later I think, yes, taking an exam will help people to be more clear
Mhm.
to because the technical knowledge was always make them to make sure that they are clear of what these shifts were actually doing.
Yeah.
Yes, so they know that I'm actually capable of doing these
Yeah.
shifts as well.
So then what about your experience with, like the class meetings with me, the discussion sections, your mentors? Do you have any thoughts about that?
Well, I think I would describe it as really helpful. So because Rose meetings give me a broader understanding of the research beyond my daily tasks.
Mm,
You can't just work with the data. So what exactly this data will tell you, and what exactly is difference between the bilingual usage, like usage speakers, and those people are, is it monolingual, like only speak one language?
yeah.
Because I remember there's a demonstration of like two people showing on the stage. They are doing the same cognitive task, and we see the result that it's really obvious that one person, I remember it's the multilingual person, sorry, it's bilingual person, is have a more accurate and faster result. I was like, oh, I was so surprised by that. I don't know if I can do the same thing because I'm speaking another language, but it's really helpful for me to understand what's the goal of conducting all these exams,
Mhm,
and testings and all these shifts.
mhm.
And also, we have heard one of the guest lectures from, I think it's Hong Kong University,
Yeah.
to share her results, because Hong Kong is, I was from a place that is near Hong Kong,
Oh, okay.
not that near, but
Uh-huh.
so I feel like oh, someone from my home was giving a speech about this related topic. So
Mm,
I was also very impressed by that.
yeah.
So I think all these resources, all these
Mhm.
lectures, the class meetings help me to have a broader understanding of the research.
So what do you
It's
think
very
is
special.
one thing people don't know about Project Dual?
Um, well, actually, I don't know how much people know about the project duo. Maybe they never heard about it.
That's
I
true.
think we need to increase our exposure to the public. That's one thing. But besides of that, I think we have a really great team. You know your peers. Your peers are really helpful, and you can always come to them, ask questions if you don't know anything about the
Mhm.
shifts, and they're always willing to share other resources with you. Like when I was preparing for a presentation, I will ask to Victoria, the people holding the intro meeting, to give me the flow chart.
Mm.
And also, we are always taking more advice to make our process better. Like when you are writing your essay, the
Mm.
final semester independent study essay, that's your chance to give your observation for the this research and what can be improved, you think can be added to the process. And what I'm so surprised and feel so honored is like I give advice of having a visual to visualize our process, because when I get in this project, I feel a bit overwhelming and confused. And so I think visualize and maybe making a flow chart will help people better understanding all these processes.
Mm.
And this advice was taken by you. And I also come in with Jenna,
Mhm.
the previous leader, and she's also very helpful. And all we have a meeting together to discuss how to make the visualization to get into the different part of the project goal.
Did you have any questions that you wanted to have me answer during our interview today?
Well, yes. Well, I have three questions for you. My first question is like we have invest a lot of time doing the testing instruments, and we haven't for like when I came in to here, we're always doing the testing. It's over a semester, and before we see any visible research findings, how do you think students should understand the value and impact of their contribution during this stage of the research process?
Yeah, so the testing phase in the research field is typically called pilot testing. So what I've learned over the years of doing research at UT Austin is that if you don't do a solid pilot testing, you actually end up wasting a lot of time and money with actual participants, because getting participants to the actual participants who are the focal point of your research study, they're very hard to get. And, their time is limited. So you have to make sure your instruments, your protocols are in really, smooth phase and smooth, and that everything is working perfectly pretty much. Because otherwise you may end up collecting the data, and then the data becomes not usable because you forgot something or something wasn't done correctly, and then you may not end up using the data that you got. So I learned the value of testing thoroughly very early in my career. And so I think learning how to perfect the protocol, rewrite them, and make it better so that when you do get the funding from the grant agency, you're ready to go and everything is already in tip-top shape so that you can get high quality data from participants. And what I've learned too is that no matter how many times I do the pilot testing, I keep thinking I probably at this point caught every error that could have ever occurred. And just when I think I've reached a point where I've learned as much as I can from pilot testing, I'll do the next round of pilot tests, and then a new error comes up. And it's so interesting. And I guess that's the nature of humans, is that humans are so dynamic and they're so ever changing. Nothing is static, and just when I think I've gotten
Yeah.
every possible point finished and updated and corrected, there's another new one I didn't think of. So I'm kind of like, I keep writing grants to get the next round of funding to come through, and I'm pilot testing.
Yeah, I completely agree with your opinion, and I do think that if we have a good, really solid preparation, then it will make even the human are dynamic, it was unpredictable, but we'll still make the later steps is how to say gain more control of the future steps because we already know how to tackle with different incidents and how to make the process run smoothly and maybe also motivates people to participate fully into this program.
Yeah.
So yes, thank you so much for answering. And my second question was that we have spent a significant amount of time developing and refining the test instruments. Well, so looking ahead, how do you think we can best leverage what we've learned during this phase to strengthen the next stage of the project?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's really, like I said, like so important to refine as much as we can so that what ends up happening is when you get a grant, you have a very limited time window to get the grant work finished. And often the first year of the grant is just kind of like making sure everything is running. But the great thing about having spent so much time refining things is that we don't have to spend that first year. We can just hit the ground running right away. And we can get our results faster and start publishing the findings earlier. So I'm just hoping that everything is going to be in place so that once the grant funds come in, we're ready to go, hit the ground running without wasting any time.
Yes. Okay. Got it. Got it. Thank you so much for answering. And my last question is that the project dual focuses on the bilingualism, but like for me, for example, myself, many of us coming from very different linguistic and cultural backgrounds. So one of my friends I know inside of the project dual is that she actually speaks Italian.
Mm.
So to what extent do you think the patterns we observe in bilingual development, I mean, more specifically to the Mexican Spanish people and also Spanish, to be more specific, will generate across different language pairs and
Mhm.
cultural contexts? And are there particular comparison you would be especially interested in exploring in the future research?
Yeah, so I've always been fascinated with the different bilinguals. So, as you know, the University of Texas at Austin draws students from all over the world. And so they're kind
Yes.
of disappointed when they find out our focus is on Spanish speaking individuals because they speak a language other than Spanish, just kind of like you. And so it'd be great to be able to see how do these findings, are they generalizable to all bilinguals, or is it only for specific kind of bilinguals? The thing is, it's an open question because the studies I've done have only been with Spanish speaking bilinguals and specifically of Mexican origin. So I don't know the answer to that. And it'd be great to be able to expand it to other languages and so forth. But based on the theories of bilingualism, there is this idea that many of the concepts, the core ideas, isn't limited to a specific language, but just bilinguals in general. So we'll see. And hopefully, I still have many years to go as a faculty member at UT to do research. So we'll see how it turns out.
Yes, very excited to see more results coming up.
Yeah.
And I will be still excited to continue contributing to the
Thank you so
teams.
much. So, thank you, everyone. I wanted to say thank you to Siqi for sharing her incredible insights about her time as a research assistant. And so, thank you again, Siqi, for sharing your time with us. And thank you for listening, everyone. This is Siqi for our Research Assistant Spotlight Series.